I am Jaret Walker. This is one of my first solo shows here in Jacksonville. We just having a show tonight, really putting on an exhibit, and the show is called the Blessed Imposter. I'm an artist, I'm a painter. I do everything within the artistic scope and span. Besides that, I'm a full-time dad, and I think that's something that I take to heart. You know, my little girl, Messiah, her name means one who does God's work. One thing that I try to model for her is just somebody who's consistent, pushing forth God's work in some kind of way, whether creatively or whether vocally, with speaking and doing different things within the city. And I love Jacksonville. You know, I'm a country boy at heart. I strive to make sure I put my city on, but my family, and not just my family, but first and foremost, but God. You know, that's really my goal. That's what I strive to do. I grew up over on the north side of Jax. A lot of people would consider it the hood, but you know, I just consider it the neighborhood. It's a place that raised me, it's a place that bred me, it's a place that taught me who God was through a lot of everything in life. Stresses, struggles, and strife, fights, and all the other stuff. All the way from running away from the police when I was about 10 years old, to even being arrested falsely at 14, to seeing a pastor preach a motivational message to many people and change their lives. I'm all of that in one. And the things that I took away from it, I add within my work and my pieces. And that's why you see so much, sometimes you see a lot of religious iconography, but it's also meshed in with this kind of street art text or the street art flow because of where I was born and bred from. I am not where I'm from. I'm more so who I'm called to be. The cool thing is there's a scripture and it talks about Jesus is talking to his disciples. And while he's talking to his disciples, he has a moment where where they're thinking they gotta be a certain kind of way, and he's telling them come to them as children. You understand? You have to have a youthfulness with how you flow in life in order to have an elongated life, and actually have a life that shows a level of growth. And one thing that I strive to do is I strive to tell them don't grow up too fast. Growing up too fast it ain't sustainable. You know, it's not it ain't worth it. And you actually need your youth as you go into different ages. I just hit 30, and since hitting 30, I'm thinking on what I used to think and how I used to think when I was 18, 14. And one person that keeps me from having this youthful mindset is my daughter, but not just my daughter, but also a youth group that I love and that I pour into on Sundays and sometimes during the week. I'm very open about my mistakes, but I know you can learn a lot from my mistakes. And what I see from them is sponges. So with them being sponges, I strive to be a seed planter. You know, knowing if I plant seeds that ultimately they can grow into something beautiful. And you got to start by pouring into the youth. You know, you got to start by pouring into that kind of community. And that's what I do now. That's what I'm probably going to be doing forever, for the rest of my life, no matter what age I am. Pay close attention to a lot of wording because the words can speak to your life. I write words purposely down so that they speak life to you, or they expose something that could have been hidden inside of you. So within a lot of these works and in a lot of these pieces, you will see definitely a lot of wording. So pay close attention to that. That's something that I don't do on accident. I don't do it to just be like whoever, whatever it is. I do it to help tell the story that the original piece is already telling. We can do great jobs of creating beautiful pieces, but when you learn to add text to context, it makes that thing turn into a book, you know? So come into this space, reading a book. And in this case, this book is about an imposter. It's about somebody who is very talented. And with them being very talented, they have imposter syndrome. Everybody with imposter syndrome has a talent, but it's something about that imposter syndrome that doesn't allow them to fully take notice of how good they are at their craft. But the crazy thing is, they consistently do it. So it means that they're also blessed with that. So it's actually a blessing to have imposter syndrome. It becomes like your superpower. That's why even when you come in here, you might see some superheroes up on the wall. So yeah, man, you'll really enjoy it. Just take it in and breathe.